What's going on, guys? Welcome to Koraiwood and welcome to the next video on C++. In the last video we have declared our we have discussed this C++ preprocessor, the header, and we have discussed this include, which we already know, and we have done some example here on define, and we've done all this if you guys remember. I hope so. Alright, so in this video we're gonna see how we're gonna swap or change the two number between say if you got x and y is our number one, our number two. So we show you guys declare this is the first, and then we say the after swap, then we change the number. Say if you got a or b, the number a goes to b and the number b goes to a. So how we do that using this define macro. Alright, so we get rid of this the rest, and all we need is the top one. You guys go, because this is a very popular subject among C++ programmers. So to be effective C++ programmers, you guys need to know this change, how we're gonna change our a and b. So we're gonna define change, and we declare our parameter a and b, and inside the parameter we need to declare int. The first one we need to declare the temporary. Our you guys can put a temporary. So we've got a temporary number, and we gonna tempo our I'll make it temp, make it a little bit easier. So we're gonna assign our a to temp, and we're gonna assign b to a. So we're gonna assign b to a, and we're gonna assign temp to b. So b to temp, because this is our temporary value. So here we have define our macro symbolic constant change, and we're declaring the two parameters. It's got two parameters here. It has to be a or b, and we've got a temporary value here, our temporary, and we're assigning the a here to temporary, and we're coming here and assigning our b to a. We're gluing our e to a, and at the end we're assigning our temporary, which is here to b, because temporary has got a value. The temporary has got a value, the b the a has got a b's value, and the b has got a temporary value. So it goes like in a circle. That's how we're gonna swap. Alright, so int main, and we're gonna see. So, and we're gonna declare the two integer here. So you guys can do integer or double, whatever. So num1 and num2, because we needed to swap the two numbers. Alright, so at the bottom here we say please enter number one, our number one, like that. Okay, so we say please enter the user number one, and c in we go to, and we get number one from the user. Same goes with the number two, c out, not like that. Please enter number two. Alright, so being a C++ programming, it's important that you guys know how to swap a number, or how to change a number between the two values. And we go num2 integer. Okay, so we're getting the number one from the number two now here at the bottom from the user. Alright, so we move this guy here. Alright, so we say number 1 value is okay, and we say num1, and we're declaring another literal string. Number 2 value is value. Okay, value is, and we can going to number 2, so we check at the moment if we're getting num2, this one. So now we say if our program is running without any bug or without any issues. So just note, this is the before we change, so we want to see all we getting the number 1 and 2 from the user. Alright, so please enter number 1 is 12, and we say number 2 is 33. So number 1 value is 12 and number 2 value is 33. Okay, so what I'll do is that in between here, because they are getting closer, I'll make a space and we say and. That looks okay, so make it a little bit like that to see. Alright, so we can, number 1 is say 12 and number 2 is 44, and the number 2 value is 44 because the number 1 is 12 and the number 2 is 44. Cool. Alright, so now we've got this 2 number we're getting from the user. Now this macro, our symbolic constant define, come into handy because we've got to define our symbolic constant C++ processors, preprocessor A and B, and we're declaring that temporary number, we're getting temporary, and we are assigning A to temporary number, and we are assigning B to A, which is this one, and we gluing this temporary back to B. Alright, so we're getting this X and Y, so we declared our change. That's our change, and that's change is X, sorry, not X and Y, num1 and num2, num1, num2. Okay, so now our macro is coming into action, and it's gonna be getting number one and number 2. So that's how this swap function, the macro, is gonna work. So we need this guy here because we are a bit lazy to type. So after this swap, because now this guy here, this macro is gonna do the magic, and it's gonna swap the 2 number. Okay, then we say the value, our we remove this, we say after change, our swap. Some people call it swap, some all call it change, whatever you guys prefer it. So we put in some lines here and some line here. Alright, so we need this guy to come out of here, and we say number. Okay, so we put like that, number 1 value is okay, and we say number 1, and we go number 2 value, or we could go here number 2, because this is after number 1 value is, that's before swap, and this is after swap, and this is gonna do the magic, the change, the macro which we already defined. Number 2. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll copy this because this is already done. Okay, so the number value, this is after change or swap. So we say the number 1 and number 2 after swap. So this part here, that's the 3 1 line, is gonna do the magic. All right. Okay, because here we don't need the n here. Okay, sorry, the one sec. All right, so it says enter number 1, which is 10, and we're gonna enter the second number, which is 20. All right, so the value for number 1 is 10, and number 2 is 20. And now after swap, the value for number 1 is 20, this one, and the number 2 is 10. You guys see that that's how the swap works between the two numbers. I'll make this big, and you guys see that the first number we enter is 10, and the second number we enter is 20, and number 1 value is 10, and number 2 value is 20. All right, so number 1 will got a value of 10. Here number 1 value got a 20 because that number 2 value jumped to number 1, and number 2's got a number 1 value, so it's like crisscross. All right, so you guys see that number 1 value after, you guys can put after swap, after change or swap, number 2 value after swap is okay. So that's very easy. It's a little bit tricky. We have a macro here, and we define it as change, and we give a parameter of a and b. Here we've got a temporary value, and we assign a to temporary value, and we assign, because a is glued to the temporary, and we assign b to a. So now we assign a goes to temporary and assign b to a, and temporary goes to b. It's like a zigzag, like a DNA, human DNA embryo. If you guys seen that, it's got a like zigzag. So the a goes to b, b goes to a, and the magic is this temporary number. This temp's gotta hold the value for a. So when we enter number a, the value a or number 1 goes to the temporary, and temporary holds that, and then we assign the number b to a, and then we goes to because b is inside the a, and we assign the temporary to b. That's the magic. Only 1 line, and here we're getting the number a and b, number 1 and number 2 from user, and here we are showing the first number from the user, the actual ones which the user enter, and we say that we bring this macro here. We don't need to bring anything else. See guys, that the macro makes the job a lot easy. And now because it's got a 2 parameter, a and b, I think the a and b, the parameter, yeah, a and b. Now we assign the parameter number 1 and number 2, because this is already the engine. This is the engine of the swap or change. So that's how it works. And here after the swap, the value of number 1 goes to number 2, or the value of number 2 goes to number 1. Simple. All right, so we go here and it says enter number 1, and we say number 1 is say 50, and we say enter number 2, which we make it say 900. Okay, so first we assign 50, and the number 2 value is 900, because 900, number 1 value after swap is 900 here, and one sec, I'll make this one to make it. So what I'll do to make it easier, I'll put a 1 in here and 1 in here, next line. So now it's gonna show you in up and down instead of in one line. Okay, so number 1 is say 100 and number 2 is say 800. Okay, so now number 1 value is 100 and number 2 value is 800, which is correct here, and the number after swap is number 1 value is 800. Here the number 2 value is got 800 and the number 2 value is after swap is 100. So you guys see that the number 1 went to number 2 and the number 2 went to number 1. That's how the swap works in C++. So I hope you guys like the video, and that's how easy is that. I think a lot of guys, they get confused with this swapping. And that's it. If you guys got any question or comment, just leave below. Otherwise, thanks for watching my videos, and I'll see you guys in the next video, and bye.